Hey everybody, and welcome to Clandestine Cabal. I'm Jason.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Matt.
And we have got three pretty awesome reviews for you. Yes, three. Pretty awesome reviews for you. So Ben's going to kick it off.
Oh, I'm kicking it off.
Yeah,
All
you're
right.
going to kick it off.
Oh my gosh. I'm doing Captain America and Bucky this week by the lovely and talented Ed Brubaker. Issue 622, by the way.
If you lost count.
I just love this series, mostly because I love Bucky Barnes. I'm a huge Bucky fan. I'm still not over his death. Kind of want him to be back already, even though that the event that he died in isn't even over yet. And I know it's kind of sacrilege, but I think he's a better Captain America than Steve Rogers.
That is sacrilege.
I think he's more interesting. Let me say that. I don't know if he's a better Captain America.
The Winter Soldier The Winter Soldier story does that a good depth.
Yeah, but about this issue, it's everything that I like about Ed Brubaker writing Captain America and Bucky in particular. So, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of negative things for me to say about it. I thought it was another strong issue by Mr. Brubaker. And especially if you want to go back and kind of like find out more about like the Captain America stories like during World War II, which might be kind of tired for some people, but for me, as long as they're telling them in kind of interesting ways, which they do in this issue, I don't really mind. So I thought it was a great issue. So that's about it.
Yeah, I really like this comic as well. I actually might even say that I like this one better than the current Captain America series, with the Captain America ongoing, which, in all honesty, is still pretty awesome. But this one, just like, it's a wonderful period comic. And the thing that I love as much as the writing, if not maybe even more, is the art. Because the art's kind of like, it's not really well defined, it's kind of unpolished, but then it also like puts it in the perspective of the 1940s. Like, it really kind of makes it feel like, oh, this is kind of an authentic tale. And I mean, I feel the same way that Ben does. I love Brubaker writing Bucky and Cap, and this also is a very good series so far. Just jump onto any issue you want, because it's pretty much just single stories about Cap and Bucky.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I did. I haven't read an actual Captain America comic in a long time, and just kind of jumped into this one, and it really gives you a feel for Bucky's side of the story during World War II, because it's always focused on Captain America, and Cap really isn't he's only in the issue for maybe a couple pages, to be honest, and,
yeah.
And Bucky's narrating it the entire time, so you really kind of get a feel for, I guess, more of the sidelines, and just kind of more when Cap is busy doing his own thing and letting kind of Bucky help lead. It just, like, agreeing with Jason too on the art, it really gives you a feel and kind of get your mindset into the setting and all that. So great issue.
Yeah, definitely try to pick up any of the series so far. Next up, we have got Brilliant under the Icon imprint of Marvel, and this is from the amazing record-holding team of Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley, who you may remember from Ultimate Spider-Man. This is their first creator-owned series between the two of them. I mean, Bendis has some creator-owned series of his own, but this is like the first one with Bagley, and this is a pretty interesting comic. It basically tells the story of this group of like science majors at college, and they're basically trying to figure out the science of superheroes, and it's explained very well. The only problem that I have with this book is that this one issue so far, all it does is just tell you, the only thing that's accomplished in it is what they tell you in the previews, that, oh, this is what they're going to do. So, I mean, it's just a simple mission statement, but you do get to learn a lot about the cast, which I actually really like, and I'm really interested in learning more about all these different people. And, I mean, especially if you're a college student, it might be something that you could relate to, just with, like, them not knowing what they're going to do after college. But I really highly enjoyed this.
I really liked it too, and I've actually been excited about this for a while because the first issue was supposed to come out like end of July, beginning of August, and it's been a while, obviously, since that.
It's kind of like the Kick-Ass series. You really never know when it's coming out.
Yeah, well, that's the nature of like a lot of these creator-owned projects, is because they're kind of doing them on their their abundant free time, which they don't really have anyway.
Yeah.
But
Especially Bendis.
Yeah, because he does all kinds of stuff. But no, I really liked it. The wait kind of made me savor it. It's going to be bi-monthly, so there's going to be like a whole other month and possibly more when the next issue comes out. But first issues are tough, and I really like this issue, and I have to agree with pretty much everything you said, that not a terrible lot happened in it. I think that it started out with some strong action, and then the rest of the comic was kind of exposition and introducing the reader to like who the players are in this series, which, like you also said, I really like. There's a lot of interesting and diverse characters in this. And it really spoke to me a little bit, because they talk a lot about how there are these students who are like studying all these different fields of science, and they're really good at them, but they realize like halfway through that they're like, hey, I don't like this at all. What am I doing?
That happened to me.
So yeah, and that happened to me too. Like, I mean, I started with bioengineering, and I'm doing theater now. So whoa. But
same thing kind of happened to me. It's just, I just quit.
Well, I mean, I think it speaks to like a lot of people, especially in our generation right now, who are students, like just kind of struggling with that. So it's a really good issue, and the more accessible something is, the better it is. And one of my favorite English teachers of all time said. So I really think you should. It was Yoka. So I think you should pick it up and give it a shot.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of keep mine short, but I have to agree with everything that they said. My only input is, it kept me wanting more, which is the only problem that I had with the comic, is that, since it is going to be bi-monthly,
you have to be patient.
Yeah, and I don't have a lot of patience. Especially when it comes to stories like that, but captivating stories. I want, the next issue. It's like when I'm watching an episode of Dexter, I don't want to wait another week to see, who he's going to kill next or how he's going to get out of the situation.
Honestly, though, you'll probably forget about it by the time the second issue comes out.
Well, that's what happened with Kick-Ass 2. Like, I've got the first 2 issues of that, and it's just, I don't know where it went. But anyway, we're going to move on to our third comic, which, surprisingly enough, coming from DC, is Aquaman!
Woo! Waited for this for so long.
Yes, make fun if you want. Aquaman is probably one of the most badass characters in the DC Comics universe that I've ever encountered. The issue starts off really dark, below the ocean, kind of introducing a new villain. We don't really know what they are yet. We just know that they're nocturnal-esque creatures.
Yeah, I don't even know if they know like really the concept of light, since they're like so deep in the water.
But it cuts to Aquaman on land, and apparently he's just trying to live a normal life, along with...
As normal as Aquaman's life.
Well, yeah, as normal. It can't be outrageous.
That's a Brave and the Bold joke, so...
Yeah, so go check that out if you can. But, it really kind of gives you a feel for the character Aquaman. He actually goes to a restaurant to get some lunch, and that's pretty much what the focus of the issue is on. And it really shows your perspective of what the civilians in the comic book universe think of him. There's actually a line in it where they ask him, what is it like to be no one's favorite superhero? And, that's kind of what puts him on edge and leads up to the rest of the comic.
That was a meanie.
Yeah, but...
He was a blogger.
Yeah,
he's a meanie.
Asshole. But written by Jeff Johns, art by Ivan Reis. Pick it up. Just don't make fun of it's Aquaman. Yes, it's Aquaman. Just read it and you will understand how awesome he is.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, last week I said that Batman by Scott Snyder was like one of the few titles that I was like expecting. I would not expect anything less than the best. And Aquaman's another one. And once again, like with that team and that character, it totally delivered. I loved it. It's one of my favorite of all the DC new titles, and I cannot wait to see more of it.
Yeah. No, were you done or?
That was it.
Okay, I don't want to cut you off. No, this was Jeff Johns let me down a little bit earlier in the DC New with the Green Lantern #1, which wasn't a bad issue, but it could have been better.
It's not a #1.
Yeah, but my expectations were high to begin with, and he exceeded them. And I think I told you this earlier. As amazing as I thought the writing was in it, the best part was the art.
Oh, so wonderful!
It was incredible.
I was telling him that Mara, like that art of Mara, is probably the best Mara I've ever seen. Ever.
I read an interview where they were asking like Ivan Reis about like what it was like drawing the comic, and he said that his favorite parts were drawing like the water, which, you know, in an Aquaman book, those opportunities I think would probably be pretty abundant.
Yeah.
But I didn't really understand that until I started looking at it, and the water is almost this like, I don't know, like this poetic like living thing. You just have to look at it to understand. But it's really beautiful, and I don't know. I cannot wait to see like the potential that Jeff Johns is going to be able to like excavate from this Aquaman character and what he does with it. And it's like watching, because I caught up with what he did with Green Lantern. I wasn't there from the beginning, so I feel like this is like the start of something really good for Aquaman.
Yes.
And it's gonna really make him like an A-lister in the years to come. So jump on that train now. Really, it's awesome.
All right, well, don't forget to check out our last DC New speed round that we're also going to put up pretty soon, and also a DC New wrap-up. And if you like what you see here, go to Clandestine Cabal on Facebook, like our page. If you have any, or you can follow us on Twitter. We have a Twitter feed now, which is awesome. And if you have any questions, any books you'd like to see reviewed, just go ahead and send us an email at clandestinecabal@gmail.com. And hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.